Kenya is experiencing severe droughts, the worst in over 40 years. Many families are living on as little as 7 liters of water a week. Think about that for a second. That's well below the 50 liters per person per day recommended by the United Nations. Well, IsraAID is an Israeli NGO, and they've been working closely with locals there to help locate and eventually drill for groundwater in the hopes to provide water to over 5,000 people. And joining me now is Shaha Mai, press officer for IsraAID and also from Kakuma, Kenya, is Bosco Mwendwa. He's the programs manager for IsraAID. Thank you both for joining me today.
Hi, thanks.
So, Bosco, I want to start with you. Tell us a little bit about IsraAID's ongoing effort to locate that groundwater in Kenya right now.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Bosco Mwendwa from Kenya. I'm the Kenya WASH Programs Manager. Yes, rightfully, as you have put, we are in the middle of one of the worst droughts ever to be experienced in 40 years. And as a WASH player or as a partner on ground, we are responding to ensure that more than 33,000 people in Turkana County, specifically in Kakuma Ward, have access to potable water. Rightfully, as you have put it, our current situation is worse, whereby an average people have an access to 7 liters per person per day, which that is far much below the acceptable sphere standard of 20 liters per person per day. And so what we are doing as an organization is that we're working to ensure that people have access to water and clean water for that matter, where we are drilling and installing new water systems. And apart from that is that we are also rehabilitating, because of course with the drought came along with a lot of those that were functional water system becoming non-functional because of decrease in the water table.
And Bosco, I understand that it's not just about the drilling for water, but once those boreholes are open, there needs to be intensive water quality tests, and then there are plans to install solar-powered pumps and taps. Is that correct?
Yes, very correct. So what we are doing is that because again, with the drought, and also Turkana being an ASL county, we thank God we are blessed with sunshine. And so we are not just drilling alone, we are also installing submersible pumps and then installing solar panels to power that water, and also installing some pipelines. On average, on 2 of our sites, we're installing a 4.5-kilometer pipeline to the communities to ensure that we have shortened that distance that women and children have to cover in search of water. Averagely in Kakuma and in Turkana County in Kenya in Turkana County, women and children cover an average of 12.1 kilometers just to look for water. And of course, this comes with a lot of net effect and expose them to a lot of issues, one being rape, because again, the only available water sources are hand-dug wells on dry riverbed. And so what we're doing is that we are not only just drilling, but also installing solar-powered pumps and also doing pipelines so that then we bring water close to their doorsteps so that then girls have enough time for the education and they do not have cover this 12.1 kilometer on a daily basis to get water.
It's an incredible project. Shaha, I want to bring you into the conversation as well. IsraAID's work in Kenya actually began many years ago in 2013, if I'm right. Tell us about the other humanitarian projects you guys are involved there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been working in Kenya, like you said, since 2013, and we support both the refugee community and the local host community in Kenya. So you have a Kakuma refugee camp located in Turkana County, which is home to over 230,000 refugees from over 10 countries, including South Sudan, Burundi, Ethiopia, people coming from all over. But then at the same time, you have the local host population, who, especially when it comes to the drought, sometimes don't even have the same access to resources that the refugee community has. So on top of our work in water, we're also working in mental health support and protection, so protection for women and children, prevention of gender-based violence. In Kenya specifically, we have community outreach workers who are from the community themselves and go door to door to check on people, to get to know the community, to let them know that they have resources and help them address any challenges they may be facing.
Shaha, IsraAID is known to be involved in numerous humanitarian projects around the world. You guys are a nonprofit organization. These projects you lead, I'm assuming, are expensive. Where do you get the funding from, and how can people help?
So we're funded by a mixture of private donors, foundations, as well as larger UN agencies, for example. But of course, to get involved, small donations, every donation helps from all of our projects from Ukraine to Turkey to Kenya to South Sudan to Latin America. You can always go to israaid.org/donate and get involved.
Very cool. And briefly, before we go, Shahan, I just want to ask you one more question. Give us a little brief overview here of the other projects currently that IsraAID is doing around the world.
For sure. So we're involved currently in about 16 countries. We work in the Latin American Caribbean region, for example, in Guatemala, where we work with children and education and providing clean water, or in Colombia, where we work with both Venezuelan migrants and Colombian host communities, or Dominica, a small island that's really vulnerable to climate disasters, where we've been working for many years now, all the way to Vanuatu, a small island in the Pacific, where we also work on climate resilience, and then a number of countries throughout Africa.